Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here, but as you can see, I'm not Sarah Young. She's very sorry she cannot attend here today, but she nominated me as a side PI. So if you want to find my name, it's right there. I'm a side PI. But I hope you had a chance to speak with her throughout the week, and if you have more questions, there's actually additional member of the HWISE consortium in this room at Frangelo and Rosen Schuster. So in the next 10 minutes, we'll talk about 4 questions. Why is measuring experiences with water important? What were the gaps in previous measurements? What is HWISE scale, and what will implementing the scale tell us? Big picture, water is life. Water is life is platitude, and we hear this, but it's true. The abundance of water on Earth is what distinguishes this planet from any other planet in the universe. And we come to life in a sea of water, spend 9 months floating in it before we reach dry land. And there are so many things we do with water. I mean, drinking is obvious. We're in this conference, so we think about how it's used to produce food. It's used for cooking and cleaning up dishes, and to bathe ourselves and our grubby little lovelies. Water is basically an integral part of our lives, and such that the fact that 4 billion people face water scarcity and many more face water excess and poor water quality means that all those experiences that I previously mentioned are undoubtedly impacted. So when we think about to talk about the gaps, I need to tell a little backstory. Sarah had an NIH grant to study importance of food insecurity in the first 1,000 days, and she hypothesized that it would operate through these 4 pathways: economic pathway, nutrition, physical health, and psychosocial. And to do it, it's easy to start, it's easy because she knows how to measure food insecurity. And there's a lot of there's many flavors of these scales, but there are measurements how to do it at the household level. But she's an anthropologist, so she needs to go and make sure that she asks the right questions. And so she did a photo elicitation interview. So she asked mamas what shapes how you feed your infant. And what she didn't expect, she expects maybe a picture of dead chicken, picture of crops and things like that, but she get these pictures. Yeah, these pictures. And so she ran to the literature and she said, okay, let's measure household level of water insecurity. But she found measurements at physical environment, so either hydrologic indicators, national level data, or even smaller than that, so E. coli counts or heavy metals. But when she wants to look at the household and individuals, she's having a hard time. She found a standard way of measuring drinking water source, but there's nothing really analogous for the food security experiences. And she realized that these instruments for food security has been very helpful for a lot of research, so she thinks that we need a sister one. So what is the HWISE scale? I'm not going to a lot of detail on the scale development. You can find the protocol paper. But she basically meet with a lot of people who do work on water security. And she also collect all kinds of site-specific water insecurity scale that's been developed. She found a great one from Bolivia, Ethiopia, Kenya, etc. So from these scales plus everyone's ethnographic knowledge of water security, they come up with the 32 items. And then they ask these 32 items to 8,000 households across 28 sites around the world. And they choose these sites to make sure that they have all kinds of different sites in terms of region of the world, infrastructure, and problems with water. But nobody wants to ask 32 questions in their survey if they don't have to. So through, as I quote here, theory, statistics, blood, sweat, and tears, she reduced them to 12. And this question is in the form that we're familiar with. How often in the last month have you or anyone in your households maybe worried about having enough water or had no usable or drinkable water whatsoever in your households? Through the same amount of theory, statistics, blood and sweat and tears, she find that this HWISE scale is valid. They went through all kinds of internal, external validity, predictive, convergent, discriminant validity. I'll spare you all that, but just say that the HWISE scale is associated with higher stress, food insecurity, and time to collect water in all 28 sites. They also now find that the score is invariant. So a 7 in Punjab, Pakistan is a 7 in Kathmandu, Nepal, and a 7 in Kisumu, Kenya. And that the scale is now ready for broad implementation. So if you're going to start data collection anytime soon, maybe think about it. And it cannot come at a better time. There's this call for higher resolution of data, which is like, recognize the importance for understanding gender, geography, that maybe national level data on water availability doesn't capture. And now to the most interesting question. So having HWISE scale will tell us to be able to measure, assess prevalence, and identify vulnerable populations. This is very compelling to organizations who are interested in making worldwide comparisons, that when UNESCO hear Sarah speaking about this, and they approach Gallup, and together they're working to raise how to get HWISE into Gallup World Poll next year. And they're so excited about this, they sent their ambassador to the UN to the HWISE launch last February. And we all know what the SDGs are. With this worldwide data, the HWISE scale has the potential to be the source of official data on household water security. There's a precedent for Gallup data becoming the base of SDG indicator. And you'll recall the pathway that Sarah hypothesized for food insecurity. We can see that maybe this will also work for water insecurity. And the science is wide open. So when we search Google Scholar on household food security, in quote, we got a whopping 16,000 references. But when we search for household water security, we got 180, and a lot of them are from the HWISE consortium. And a number of organizations have intended to use it to monitor and evaluate the intervention and determine cost effectiveness. Some preliminary data in Zambia, Oxfam found that higher HWISE score predicts poorer health. So overall health, normal activities interrupted, and cholera outbreaks. And that from Sarah's study in Kenya, they found that water insecurity at 15 months postpartum predicts water and food insecurity at subsequent time points. So, in summary, HWISE scale will tell us how water shapes our lives, from how we care for our families to how we grow our food, care for our children, and relate as societies. And this work is a collaboration of many people, and so we really thank Imana and other funders